In today's Murli, Bab Dada has given some key points, or I would say some points that makes us understand how to be powerful. Because Baba says you children are powerful, but you are not constantly powerful. There are some instances, or due to some situations, or even due to some disobedience, that you don't follow the Srimad fully, and because of that you loses your power in some cases or in some situations. So Baba has given all those examples as well, that how and when we are becoming disobedient, and how to achieve that as well, or how to eliminate that as well, and become constantly powerful into our Brahmin lives. So it's a big Murli, so we'll start it right away. Today, the powerful father is seeing his master powerful children from everywhere. One are those who are always powerful, and the other are those who are sometimes powerful and at other times get attracted towards West even against their desire. So Baba says there are two different types of powerful souls, one who are always remaining powerful, and there are some who become powerful, but at other times they get attracted towards the West thoughts, even against their own desire, even if they don't want, but still they get drifted towards West. Where there is the powerful stage, there cannot be West. West thoughts cannot even emerge. Bap Dada was seeing that some children still complain to the father that sometimes their West thoughts change remembrance into complaint, for which Baba mentioned into Hindi, याद फरियाद बन जाती है. So instead of remembering Baba, they start complaining in few things, or complaining few of their about their flaws. So उनकी याद फरियाद बन जाती है. That they do not want these thoughts to come, but that they do come. So which kind of complaint? That I do not want these wasteful thoughts to come, but they still come. So instead of becoming constantly remembering, Baba says they start complaining into the remembrance as well about the West thoughts that they are not able to control sometimes. The majority have finished the stage of vicious thoughts for the majority of the time. Yet you have not fully passed in not looking at West, not hearing West, not thinking West, and not wasting time. It is because you do not set a program for your mind and intellect to be in a powerful stage from Amrit Vela throughout the whole day's timetable, that you get upset. So Baba says you don't set a timetable for your mind and therefore you get upset. For instance, just as you make a program for a physical task according to the daily timetable, in the same way, if you set your program for the powerful stage of your mind, you will automatically never get upset. So Baba says just like your physical tasks, the way you keep a diary or maintain a program for whole day, that how many things and in what manner I'm going to perform this task, and you tick everything when you complete your task into your whole day. In the same way, when you start keeping timetable for your mind, then Baba says you will never become upset. The busier you keep your mind with powerful thoughts, the more the mind will not find the time to get upset. In today's world, the greater someone's position is, the greater the IP or VIP, the more he will set the activities according to the daily timetable. So, who are you? They are VIPs, but in the context of your being the children of God, in the context of your Brahmin life, compared to the world outside, no matter how many V's are put for you, they are not enough, because the world is transformed on the basis of you. So Baba is saying all the IPs and VIPs into outside world, as per their highest position, they keep track record of their daily activities, that how much time do I have in my day and what things I need to complete into that specific timeline, and they keep it very precise and they follow their timetable. Whatever happens, they don't disobey, or they don't get towards west. They have their specific activities. So Baba says, into context of your Brahmin life, you are the children of God. So are they the bigger VIP, or you are the bigger VIP? Baba says you are much more bigger VIPs than them. So how many V's are put in front of you? Baba says that's not enough, because the world is transformed on the basis of you. So you are the V infinite VIPs in Baba's world. So you are the images of support for the renewal of the world. In the unlimited drama, you are hero actors, and you are the ones with a life as valuable as a diamond. So Baba says your Brahmin life is valuable as diamond. So this makes you the most VIPs, the highest VIPs in the world. So how great are you? This pure intoxication makes you powerful, whereas intoxication based on body consciousness brings the soul down. You have soul consciousness, you have soul conscious spiritual intoxication, and this is why it doesn't bring you down. It constantly takes you into the elevated flying stage. So, the reason for being attracted towards West is that you do not set a timetable for your mind and intellect. You do not constantly and fully use the art of keeping your mind busy. This is Baba's first reason why you people are not able to being constantly powerful, because you're not keeping the timetable for your mind, and you're not using the art how to keep your mind busy for all the times, because it's busy. If it's busy, if you have given a timetable, it will never get attracted towards west thoughts. And when west thoughts are not there, Baba says you will become constantly powerful. Your power will not get wasted, or it will not get drifted to west. So it can be, so you will always be powerful in that sense. Secondly, Babdada has given Srimad, that is instructions about everything: your mind, words, actions, relationships, and connections, and told you how to act and live from Amrit Vela until night time. You have been given instructions and directions about what awareness you should have in your mind, and what the stage of your mind should be in every action. So Baba says you already have given instructions, Srimad, that what kind of thoughts you need to have into your mind, and while performing every act, any action, what your mind should think or how it should be. All of you are obedient children, are you not? Baba is asking, are you not? Yes, you are. Or are you becoming that? Obedience means those who take the same footsteps as the Father in terms of the Father, that is, those who place their footsteps in Father's footsteps. The other relationship is that of a bride. What does a bride do? What instructions is she given? She has to place her footsteps in the bridegroom's footsteps. So, to be obedient means to place your footsteps in the footsteps of Bab Dada's instruction. Is this easy or difficult? Baba is asking if it is easy to put your footsteps on Bab Dada's footsteps, or is it difficult? Where should you place your steps? Are your steps accurate or not? There shouldn't even be a need to think about that. It is easy, but while moving through the day, there is disobedience in one instruction or another. They are very small things, but because there has been disobedience, a small burden begins to accumulate. So Baba says you are not becoming disobedient into major things. The major things you have almost conquered, but there are little small things, small activities, small disobediences that you are performing whole day, and the small things, the burden started accumulating of these small activities that you don't follow as per the Bab Dada's Srimad. They are very small things, but because there has been disobedience, a small burden begins to accumulate. Obedient ones receive God's blessings from all the relationship. This is a law. So obedient soul will always get or receive Baba's blessings from all the relationships. This is a law. In an ordinary way, too, if someone says yes to the directions given by a human soul and performs that action, then whosoever task it is that he is carrying out, he definitely receives blessing from that person. So Baba says even in outside world, even a human is giving some some instruction to the person to perform any particular task or any activity, and if that person is obedient and that person is following that instructions and doing things, even that person also gets the blessings from the person who has given the instructions. In the same way, in parent child relation as well, if a child is an obedient child, then he will get more love and more every almost everything compared to his sibling or his brother or sister, whoever. So Baba says even human also give the blessings for being obedient. So here you receive God's blessings. So here, if you are obedient, if you're following every step that Baba has mentioned how to perform or how to take your steps, then you will get blessings from God Himself. Because of receiving God's blessings, an obedient soul always remain double light and has the flying stage. Together with that, in return for an obedient soul following instructions, that soul receives from the Father willpower in the form of a special blessing and as an inheritance. So, in addition to the blessings, Baba says that soul will also get willpower. So, extra power will be received by that soul because that soul is obedient, following everything in the way Baba has mentioned. And so, Baba says that soul receives the willpower in the form of special blessings and as an inheritance. The father wills all the power to the child, and this is why he is easily able to attain all powers. So, an obedient soul who has attained willpower also attains blessings. So, if a soul has become obedient, Baba says he will attain the blessings and willpowers from Bab. So, an obedient soul who has attained willpower also attains blessings and inheritance and good wishes. Because of this, he constantly dances in happiness and sings songs of Wah Wah and continues to fly, for his every action enables him to experience instant fruit. So Baba says because their soul is obedient and gets the power, the blessings, and also good wishes, that soul is always flying and always dancing into happiness and always singing Vahava, Va Shubha Baba. And Baba also says that soul continues to fly, for his every action enables him to experience the instant fruit. Actions are the seeds, and so if the seed is powerful, the fruit will also be according to that, will it not? So, without labor, they automatically receive the instant fruit of their actions. So, Baba says they don't need to put extra efforts, but their double light stage, because of becoming obedient, will allow them to have the fruit of their actions, instant fruit of their actions. Just as the body remains healthy by eating fruit, in the same way, because of the instant fruit of their action, the soul always remain powerful. So the second method of remaining constantly powerful is to be obedient constantly and naturally. So it should be naturally. It should not feel like it's a force that I have to do, because now I have become Brahmin, so I have to follow, because now I cannot get out of this life, or I cannot, balance two things, then okay, I have to do because I'm here. No, Baba says it should be naturally. It should be, it should be a natural instinct. It should be constantly, continuously, and also naturally. Shouldn't be like a force or someone is making you do things, but it should be with your own will. Such a powerful soul constantly and easily flies and reaches his destination of becoming complete and attaining the stage of being close to the Father. The reason for being attracted towards West is disobedience. You are not disobedient in major respects, but there is disobedience in small matters. Now, Baba is giving examples what kind of small matters or small things that we are not performing or not doing as per the instructions. So, in which we are becoming disobedient. For instance, the main thing, the first instruction is to become pure, to be conqueror of lust. The majority of you pass in following in following this instruction. Even the innocent mothers also pass in this. You pass in that which the world considers to be impossible, but its second brother is anger, and half of you sometimes fail in that. I think this half of you and sometimes is a polite way, because Baba don't want to say it straightly, but children knows that it's not half, it's almost everyone, and it's not sometimes, it's almost every time. So I think Baba is just giving us a little uh, uh, margin to think over this. So Baba says half of you sometimes fail in this. Then you also become very clever. Some children say, I didn't get angry, but I had to show a little bit of bossiness. So Baba says it's not you just become disobedient, you also justify your actions. And how you justify? You said that I didn't get angry, but I had to show a little bit of bossiness or authority. Sometimes, I remember in other Murlis, sometimes Baba says children are really very clever. They say, बाबा अगर आप भी मेरी जगह होते ना तो आप भी ऐसा ही करते. This is the exact Hindi word Baba used sometimes into Murli, that children says justified themselves that even Baba would have been in my place, he also would have done things in the same way, or he also would have got angry like me. So that's how we justify ourselves in front of Baba. I don't get angry, but I have a bit of authority. You have made the impossible possible, and this is its little brother. What would you say to this? Is this obedience or disobedience? So, Baba is giving us the other positive thought, that you have conquered the lust, I mean, the first bigger, uh, big, big brother of anger, and you are not able to work with anger with its little brother. So, what is this? Is it obedience or disobedience? And even smaller disobedience than this is that you only half follow the discipline of Amrit Vela. Now, the second example of disobedience. You get up and you sit down, but do you attain success through the method given by the Father's instruction? Do you have a powerful stage? Together with sweet silence, the silence of sleep also becomes mixed. So half a time you're meditating and half a time you're sleeping. That's what Baba is mentioning here. If Bab Dada were to show you your weekly television, you would enjoy it a great deal. So you follow half the instruction. You become the Lord who follows the discipline, but you do not become an embodiment of success. What would you say to this? Baba is asking, what would you say to this? Only getting up and sitting is not sufficient or enough to have a powerful stage of meditation into that time. That's what Baba wants us to achieve, because only then we will become the embodiment of success. There are such small things of disobedience. You have been given the instruction: do not cause sorrow for another soul and do not take sorrow. This is next example. Do not do not cause sorrow for another soul and do not take sorrow. Within this too, you do not cause sorrow, but you do take sorrow. जैसे बाबा बोलते न दुख दो न दुख लो, तो न दुख दो we are following that, but न दुख लो we are failing in that. The reason for having West thoughts is that you take unnecessary sorrow. You hear something and so you experience sorrow. Whatever you hear continues to work in your mind against your conscious wish. Why did he say this? What he said was right. This should not happen. So Baba is giving example what kind of thoughts we create when something has been said, or someone said something which is not right, or which is not correct, or which is creating some problem or trouble into our life. So we create that kind of thought. So Baba is giving example what kind of thoughts that we are creating, because of which we are getting sorrow or we are creating sorrow. So we are not giving sorrow or giving pain to others, but if someone said something, we take it as a sorrow. We think over that thought all over again, and because of that we create sorrow in our own mind. So Baba is giving example what kind of thoughts we are creating. Why did he said this, or what he said was right? This should not happen. The mind has had the habit of listening to and looking at west for 63 births. And this is why it becomes attracted to that even now. So it's a very deep rooted sanskar of last 63 births to get attracted towards west. Therefore Baba says it still is there, and we still need some extra powers or some extra focus to work on this. This is why disobedience in little things makes the mind heavy, and because of being heavy, you cannot fly to a high stage. This is a very deep philosophy. The burden of the sins of the past does not allow souls to fly. Similarly, disobedience in little things in this one birth does not allow you to experience the stage that you want. So there are two things: the past life burdens, past life karmic accounts, and small disobedience that we do in this Brahmin life as well. So because of them, Baba says you are not allowed or you're not experiencing the stage that you want. The activity of Brahmins is very good. When Bap Dada asks how you are, everyone says we are very well. However, when you are asked, is your stage as it should be? You go quiet. Because of this, the burden of this disobedience does not allow you to be constantly powerful. So today, remember this slogan: don't think West, don't see West, don't listen to West, don't speak West, and don't waste time in wasteful actions. You have gone beyond doing something bad. Now, paint an image of the divine character of obedience. This is known as being a constantly powerful soul. Acha, I think we will halt uh, today. I mean, we'll take a pause till this point, and we'll continue tomorrow because we still have more 5 pages. So we'll continue that tomorrow from this paragraph where Baba has started, or Baba is conversing with teachers. So, Om Shanti, and this is for today. Now we'll take a pause of 2 minutes, and then we'll share our thoughts on this Murli. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Yes. Who would like to go first with their sharings, their thoughts?
Om Shanti.
Om
Uh,
Shanti, brother.
thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Yeah, it's obedience. It's very important to follow the footstep according to the Brahma Baba. So that I got inside. And the full step means when we are not taking full step as according to Baba, who has gone through that path, Brahma Baba. So
Yes.
that Srimad we have to constantly follow, and it starts from our thought. So if we are not If we're not following, so there is a waste thought. What we see, we hear, we everything we do, it's according to the Srimad we have to do. And
Yes.
the second important point I got, there's a purity. Yeah, Baba told that you extra power you receive when you follow, extra blessings.
Yes.
That is important point I got. And yeah, according to yeah, and I didn't, and one important thing, that sorrow, don't give sorrow to yourselves and to others. It starts from your thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it's a wonderful that I got. Yeah, Om Shanti. It is created. Sorrow is created by us only. It's not by others. So that
Yes.
is important thing. Yeah, Om
Correct.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, brother, for sharing. Yes, Baba also mentioned that you have stopped creating or giving sorrow to others. You don't do that like you were doing earlier. But when something happened and someone says something, you create sorrow for your own self. You create your self doubt, or you start tripping on that thought all over again and again. And because of that, you create sorrow for your own self. You're not giving it to others. You conquered that as well. But Baba says there is second part to that slogan, na dukh do na dukh lo. But dukh lo, isme you people are, you souls are somewhere not yet completely obedient. So sometimes you do that as well. And that thought process also reduces your power and don't allow you to become constantly powerful. Yes, that's very nice point. Yes, anyone else?
Om
Shanti sister.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yeah, Vijay, please go ahead. Yeah.
Uh, okay, sure. Okay, Om Shanti. So Baba sees two types of children. So one is powerful souls. So they don't have any sort of wasteful thoughts. So basically, the waste is, or the mind is going waste. Uh, Creating wasteful thoughts means there is not enough or powerful thoughts inside. So waste is nothing but the absence of powerful thoughts, right? So that's
Yes.
why some children become sometimes powerful, sometimes in the sense there is some waste in them, right? Sometimes they don't want to do it, but still it's working against their conscious wish or their desire. And Baba says the reason for that is we're not setting a timetable for the mind to keep the mind busy, because the mind is also carried out as a sanskar of 63 births, right? So so the interest was only in the waste. So
Mhm.
suddenly now we have to change that pattern to a best. So Baba says, so we have to keep timetable for the mind, just like how important people they will have timetable for their day-to-day work, right? Or at least how much are important people they are. Accordingly, they will also have timetable set maybe for 1 year, maybe for 1 month, right? So similarly, Baba says we are very, very important. How many V's we want to add, we can add, and we should keep the mind, or that is an art. Baba says it's an art. So when you learn this art of keeping the mind busy, right, to the best, right, then eventually there will not be any space for the ways to emerge. So
Exactly.
eventually the practice will make you a powerful soul. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, brother, for sharing that. Yes, this is very true that you mentioned this point. And one more thing I was just thinking when you were saying that when we first get this knowledge, or when we completed our basic 7-day course, and when we started practicing these things, I'm sure every BK, every Brahmin must have tried this particular thing, that keeping timetable for their mind, because some of the people already have habit to create their, if it is Baba specifically mentioned for VIPs, but in outside world, the normal common man also, some of the people who have this habit of making note of daily task, what things I am going to do today, what are the tasks, and they're just taking them. So I'm sure every BK has tried this for their mind as well, because this is a new thing. When this is not the first time we are hearing this point, but in our whole BK life, we must have heard this earlier, and everyone had tried as well, and everyone have the experience that how it feels and what how it makes our mind busy. But Baba says we just need to be constant in this, because we are not doing it constantly, therefore we are failing sometimes. So it's just discipline that we need to keep for ourselves, and we need to follow just with discipline. And if we do it every day, then definitely, because it's Baba's word, definitely we are gonna become constantly powerful because of this habit as well. So yes, keeping timetable is something we already have experienced. We just need consistency into that, like Baba mentioned in the Murli.
Yeah,
Yes,
sister, there is
anyone else?
some
Yeah.
chat in the box. Yeah, chat box from
And I think
Elizabeth.
there are a few points mentioned into chat box as well. Yusha Ben had mentioned.
Um,
Yes, who anyone wants to say something?
yeah, just meantime you read that. So I just remembered something about the waste. Okay, so this is there in one of the that there's a book released by the IT wing. So it's called Digital Wellness Book. Okay, so in that there is something that they have mentioned about the nature of mind, or here Baba mentioned it as a 63% scar. So what happens is, like you mentioned, that some people, when they do something, right,
Mm-hmm.
for longer time, they want to take a break, right, because their mind, their mind has been engaged on that one particular activity for long times, and then they feel some sort of a they want to take a break from that. Okay, so in that book it is called stimulating the mind and then relaxation of the mind. There are two things there. Okay,
Okay.
stimulating the mind means you're making the mind to think something different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say you're working on something, and you have been working on it for a long time, and then you feel like taking a break from that. Okay, and then when you take a break, what actually you're doing is you're stimulating the mind from one thought to the other. So there, your mental energy is wasted based on what activity you are involving. So let's say you're watching some YouTube video. So common. So nowadays, majority what they do after working for a long time, they will take a break and then they take up their phone and then start watching something or the other. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're losing. So what is happening inside? They are changing their thoughts. Okay, it's not a relaxation there. The mind will get relaxed only when the number of thoughts are reduced. So that happens only in meditation. So when the mind is used for a long time, right, in so many things at work, and then when you relax, right, what you need to do is you need to make sure the mind relaxes, where you don't make the mind to create so many thoughts. You take the mind to Parandam or be with Baba and try to create very minimum thoughts. So in that way, the mind will get recharged. Okay. And then
Oh,
after
okay.
that, and after the recharge, when you get back to work, you feel so fresh and you feel energetic. You feel somewhat you have charged. Okay. So it says that majority are stimulating the mind, which means they are just changing the thought. Their mental energy is lost. They are not gaining anything. They are not getting charged also. But when we practice, when you do work and then take a break, and that break you practice meditation, or to have some chit chat with Baba, that practice will enable you to gain more power. Okay, your mental energy will be charged there. So, which means you will feel so fresh, just like you work, you work on the field for so much of time, and then you take a break and you come and take a quick nap, right? Then you get back to work, you feel so relaxed, right? I mean, you feel so charged, right, to do that physical work more. So
Yeah.
same practice is applied to our mind also. So there's a huge difference between stimulating the mind and relaxations. Yeah, that's what I wanted to cover. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing about that book. That was a very nice point to think about, of course. Yes, even in outside world, people now have started understanding few things like continuously being on mobile, being in digital world. It is draining them out, and there also there are different sessions or some some uh, no, interactive sessions are uh, happening into corporate world as well, and people are started to cultivating good habits like spending time into nature, being away from their mobile for a while, maybe once in a week or 2 hours, because they can, because it's not they can't do, they can also do it, but because they don't have this highly elevated knowledge with them, they are also trying few things which they can try to to gain that energy again and not to drain themselves out more, just out, just like you mentioned that after work they are just going back to their mobile and scrolling. Maybe it could be YouTube or reels or anything. So now they are also starting getting awareness of these things, and they're also started to cultivate good habits like I mentioned, spending time into nature or any good hobby like music or some other things that will not allow them to again sit with the digital world. So it is, yes, very important. And but for us, we have a very good source to get all those energies back: meditation. And the highest energy, the supreme father, we have that source. So we are very lucky, and we need to use. Sometimes Baba also says, you children don't use me wisely. I'm offering myself completely to you, and you are just not using me. So we should start, or we should, we are using, but it's just like I said earlier, it's just consistency that we need. Yes, thank you for sharing about that book. And here are few points mentioned by Girija Ben into chat. So there are two the main points that Baba mentioned. These are mentioned here as well into chat by Girija Ben, and Kalpesh Bhai also mentioned few points. One more thing Baba has given that I personally liked, that there are little things that we are disobedient. We are becoming disobedient in very small things, and that disobedience, like Baba mentioned, that gets accumulated, and because of that our power is draining out, or we are not able to become powerful, or we are not able to maintain it constantly because of those little things. Like Baba mentioned, Amrit Vela, that you get up and you sit, but are you into your powerful stage? Like the point this initially Kalpesh brother mentioned, that we are not giving sorrow, but we are creating sorrow. So Baba has mentioned few small things that we do into our, or we tend to do, or we don't want to, but sometimes it just, like Baba mentioned, it happen even if you don't want, because it's a habit of 63 births. But these small things are accumulating and they are draining our power. So I like that point. So
Yeah.
for me, that is a takeaway today.
Uh, Yogita Ben, Om Shanti.
Shanti sister, yeah.
The thing is, I always put things in the chat box because when the Murli is read, I always feel the first thing is what was there in the Murli, what Baba just spoke in the Murli. But I think the chat box is not connected to the host or something because most of
Mhm.
the times what is written in the chat box is never thing. I think admin should really notice this. Never, it is very rarely, I won't say never, rarely it is read. But so that's why taking that same chat box, just two things Baba has said in the Murli which you read today. Just
Mhm,
two
mhm,
things. Set a timetable. Be
mhm,
obedient constantly and naturally. I think instead of churning on that, we just went a little bit in talking. If you see in that, even setting a timetable, everything pours in. And what was the main thing of the Murli? Being powerful. So, in that powerful means, how do we remain powerful? It's just again coming back to lesson one, understanding the soul, being
Hmm.
soul conscious. Who am I? And living like that in that soul conscious. That is, I am a soul with a purpose. I am here to fulfill my potential. If that way you do, then you'll walk with dignity, you will speak with clarity, and you will act with purity. That will be there. So we do not understand soul consciousness. That's the main lesson. If you were able to understand, then you will know what is that which really weakens the soul. What is there which really pains the soul. And Baba is saying, pain is not something, a punishment. It is like a training for your soul. So, whenever the soul is weak, if you feel you're getting less powerful and all, it's only you should take it. It's not a weakness, it's a part of failures are the stepping stones for success. It's a part of
Yes.
soul training. So, first thing is understanding of soul consciousness. If this were there, then we will know who's the power, who's the powerhouse. From where do, why he is called as a powerhouse? He's ocean of knowledge, ocean of peace, ocean, and all those oceans. So, from that power is what you call it as Amrit Vela. And then later, that power gives you teachings during the day. And then that power gives you blessings. I think that's what, if we take the Murli itself over there, we have these points. That's why generally, no, when the Murli started, I always put the thoughts of the Murli and chat box. But sorry to say, rarely it is seen. That's why I just want to say in the Murli, only two things I have taken. Be set a timetable for yourself. Secondly, be obedient. Obedient, constantly obedient, and naturally obedient. Om Shanti.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, sister. And yes, one word that I was just missing that you just mentioned now, Baba has mentioned that constantly and naturally, because like I mentioned before, sometimes it feels that okay, now I have become Brahma Kumar or Brahma Kumari, I am Kumari or whatever. It is not necessary for Kumari or other Kumari. Now I have become BK, so I don't have anywhere out to go. I can't go back to that normal world. What will people say? So out of this pressure or out of this fear, if we are doing or if you are following instruction in this way, then we are not going to do this constantly, because that's a pressure, and somewhere that pressure is going to get out, or it is going to burst. So the word Baba used, naturally, that is really having a great meaning and depth into this world, that constantly and naturally, because if we are doing it out of pressure or burden, then it is not natural, and because it is not natural, it's not going to be constant. It's going to get, we are going to break down so at some point of time. So I like that point as well, and thank you for mentioning and sharing your thoughts. Yes, anyone else would like to share any additional thing?
Shanti sister,
Shanti.
Baba is talking about the flying stage. So less of waste, a person can fly easily. And as I see, flying is what they call air superiority. You know,
Yes.
in war, they call flying is to be the most important thing to win a war. So
Mm-hmm.
connected connecting that to power, as Baba says, to remain constantly powerful. So I connected that way for the flying stage, lack of ways to make a soul fly easily, and that's how it is very superior. So it can give more of blessings to the world. It can dominate the world by being powerful there. And second thing I noticed in the Murli, Baba today says actions are seeds, whereas usually the thoughts are the seeds. But
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless, I felt the actions reap the attention of everybody. So you would also find that your good actions are being rewarded. So you
Yes.
receive extra blessings and cooperation, and that's when you become more powerful. These are two things that I wanted to share. Om Shanti.
Yes, thank you for sharing this, brother. Yes, anyone else? One more thing that Baba mentioned that I liked, that you means you all, we all soul, we already have burden of our previous karmic accounts for last 63 births. So actually we need to be much more conscious and much more alert, because Baba also said that ek ka hazar guna in this janam, in this Brahman life, one good is going to give you 1,000 times reward. Same for the opposite. So one not so good thing that you're doing or thinking or even creating your action or words is going to give you 1,000 times. So we already have burden of 63, and I think if we just weight it into that in the right way, I think our 63 births would be into one section, and it will get balanced with the only one, the actions and words of this one birth is going to balance out. So I think that is also very I think it's scary that we really need to understand we already have that, and after that we are creating in this birth as well. So it is alarming, and yes, we really need to be very aware of this, and forget about cleaning the past. We are creating more into this birth. That's very dangerous. So I like that point as well, and because of this extra burden, Baba says you're not achieving that flying stage, because you're not becoming double light, because this burden of past and uh, of this birth, because due to becoming disobedient, of course, because if we follow everything, we will definitely not create anything in this life. And then that obedience, like you mentioned, Baba also gives us blessings, and those blessings will help us to erase all our past as well. So it's a connected, if we think in a way, these this is a connecting process completely. So your obedience give you power for this birth, give you blessings, and with that blessing and power, you remember Baba more, or I would say constantly, and that remembrance clears or cleans your past as well. So it's a complete kind of connected cycle, or a circle that is working. So yes, it is important to
Yeah,
understand. And
yeah. One more I want to add, sister, over here.
sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, you rightly said there is a burden of 63 birds. And suppose we are adding all burden, and now we are giving sorrow to ourselves and sadness, all these things. So we are, this is a compounding effect is going on our burden. So
Compound interest.
that's yeah. So there's a very, we have to be conscious and obedient, and that's very important. Yeah, that's a yeah, good point. Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much for sharing. I remember I heard in one of these senior sisters or brothers class. I don't remember whose it was. They mentioned one sentence. I think it was for outsiders. It was BK Shivani. Shivani sister ka class tha, I guess, and she said to, it was for non BK, of course, in some corporate, and she said, "Apne karmo se darna hoga." That sentence was like, and it was like alarming, that darna hoga how. So I think this is the right uh, you know uh, explanation for that sentence, that you need to uh, be afraid, or you need to be more careful about your actions in the sense, actions, words, your thoughts as well, because thoughts is the root for everything. So yes, this is a very powerful Murli, how to become powerful. Anyone would like to share anything, or we can start with meditation?
Yeah, just one last thing. So,
Sure, sure,
like
brother.
you mentioned about the flying stage, right? Why
Mhm.
people are not experiencing the flying stage. So I think this is very important, because being a Brahmin, not many will experience that flying stage. That's the reason is that because in the journey, right, we start experiencing like in this Baba said disobedience. So that will cause a loss in the account, or that
Yes.
also will accumulate. So here, the subtle thing that Baba asked us to check is the anger, right? Sometimes we call it bossiness, right? The authority, you say with
Mhm.
authority, and then Amrita Vela. So Baba highlighted that when we do Amrita Vela, so sleep is mixed in that. So that also cause problems, right? And
Yes.
then we don't give sorrow, but we take sorrow, right? That is
Mm.
also very important. So when we take sorrow, there's all small things are getting accumulated. So when these all small silly errors, that when that gets accumulated, we feel heavy inside. The mind becomes heavy. So that doesn't give us a flying or doesn't give us that experience of flying stage. So more than the gross area, I think we need to focus on the subtle parts. Then
Yeah,
there'll be
exactly.
a lot of, we can bring in a lot of progress in the Prashat where we can experience the flying stage. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. So I think we should start with the meditation now. We are left with 4 minutes only, and we will go into silence, and we will continue thinking that what are those little things that I miss into my whole day. And I think we should prepare a timetable right now in this 2 or 3 minutes of meditation. We can prepare ourselves with that timetable for the mind timetable for the whole day, and then we will see if at the end in before sleeping or in the night when we when we have last words with Baba before sleeping, we can check out, we can tick the points what I have followed for my mind, and that will help. And we can, like Baba said, we can do it continuously and naturally without feeling burden or feeling as a pressure. We can try that. So yes, now we'll start with meditation. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Yogita Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Om Shanti.